biological brother did me from behind. It was a warm summer evening, and I had just finished a long day of studying for my final exams. The house was unusually quiet, as our parents were away for the weekend, leaving just me and my brother Ethan. We rarely spent time alone together, so this was a rare occasion. After a quick shower, I wrapped myself in a towel and walked to my room. But as I passed Ethan's room, I noticed his door slightly ajar. Curiosity got the best of me, and I peeked inside. He was lying on his bed, shirtless, absorbed in a book. The sight of his toned muscles, and the casual way he lounged on the bed made my heart race. Unexpectedly, trying to shake off the strange feeling, I went to my room and put on my favorite pajamas, a loose tank top, no bra, and shorts. I decided to spend the rest of the evening watching a movie in the living room. As I settled on the couch, Ethan joined me. Sitting a little too close, we started a movie we both liked, but I could barely focus on the screen. The tension between us was palpable, and I could feel his eyes on me. Halfway through the movie, Ethan turned to me. His voice.
I let random dudes nut in me.
He cheated on me with a minor. So I, 20F, have been dating my boyfriend, Daniel, 24, for 8 months. These past months have been hard on our relationship. I thought that finals and school was stressing us both out, and I thought summer we'd finally relax and our relationship would bounce back. Turns out Daniel has actually just been in the habit of doing minors. One of these girls knocked on my door. This girl was clearly very nervous and her face was red and clammy, and I didn't know what to think. She asked if I was my name. When I said yes, she started crying and handed me this manila envelope and explained that her and my boyfriend had been dating for a month and that she stumbled onto his main account, had her older sister follow him, and saw me on there and had no idea I existed. The girl went on to explain how she got cheated on once and wouldn't wish it on anyone, and in the envelope was printed out messages and explicit pics of him. Then the girl begged me not call the police and to just confront him because her parents would do something. She left and I was floored. I felt like I wasn't myself.
I had sex with my stepsister on a family road trip. I never thought things like this happened in real life, but I guess sometimes dreams come true. I'm 17 years old and I live with my dad's stepmom and her daughter Melissa. My stepsister is 18, being 1 year older than me, and they have lived with me and my dad for the past 3 years. Me and my stepmom have a good relationship, but me and my stepsister's relationship is practically non-existent. We don't talk very often, but we have a decent level of comfortably with each other, so it's not awkward. About 3 months ago, our fetal relationship changed when my dad had planned a road trip across the country. The main problem being his tiny Honda couldn't really fit all of our luggage plus 4 passengers. This meant my stepsister would basically have to sit on my lap for the whole trip. We were both upset about this, but we didn't have a choice if we wanted to continue living rent-free. About 4 hours into the trip, the sky became dark and my stepmom inevitably fell asleep. This is when my stepsister began grinding on my lap. I was shocked but unable to move even when I started to stiffen up. I could tell she noticed, but instead of acting disgusted, she looked back and smiled. There was a pile of bags blocking the back seat from the front, so my dad couldn't really see anything. She continued grinding until she soaked right through her pants. At this point, she took of my pants and the rest is history. I slept with my 17-year-old cousin at a family reunion. I never realized how hot my cousin was until now. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently in university. My campus is roughly a 2-hour drive away from my hometown, and because of my extensive education plan, I don't get to come home very often. Last month I was able to come home for a big family reunion that we have been planning for months. I had not seen a lot of my distant relatives for a while, so it was nice to catch up with everybody. There was one person that stood out amongst the rest. My cousin, who I hadn't seen in 5 years, and to say the least she had changed drastically. I approached her and started a conversation, and within minutes I could tell that she was attempting to flirt with me. Unfortunately, my morals didn't kick in right away and I continued to flirt with my 17-year-old cousin for the remainder of the night. I couldn't break the thought of how attractive she was, and when my mom brought up the idea for all of the cousins to catch up at my parents' house after the gathering, I was all for it. Upon arriving at my old house, it was prominent that my cousin wasn't planning on leaving my side. She followed me everywhere, and when I went to my room to debrief, she was right there with me. One thing led to another, and next thing I knew I was fully into my cousin. Am I in the wrong for this?
My brother did me when I was drunk at a house party. I'm 3 years older than my brother and I've got a job. He's at college, but my job had me do a training course for a couple of weeks at the same college. We have the same parents, but they don't live together. I have my mom's last name, and my brother got his dad's. My brother likes to think of himself as being popular because he's often invited to parties, and I've heard him talk to his friends about how he gets girls. When he found out I was going to the same place for a while, he was annoyed and told me to not tell anyone I'm his sister. After I had been there for 2 weeks, a girl invited me to a party and said there will be boys and alcohol. So of course I said yes to going. On the weekend I met her and we went to her house to get ready. I saw an adult under her bed, so we laughed about it, and she said she had it for party games like spin the bottle, etc. We turned up a few hours late, so there were a lot of people already drunk. When we walked through the door, a boy s***ed my dicks. We had some drinks and went into a different room. That's when I saw my brother. He also saw me, and we sort of stopped and stared at each other before continuing on. My new friend, joking, said it looks like you have a thing checking each other out, which I laughed off and said he wishes to act like I didn't know him. We mostly avoid each other for the rest of the night apart from getting drinks, but it comes to a part in the night when most people have gone home or passed out asleep. There was no one else awake beside my brother and my friends, so my friends decided to ask my brother if we could hang with them. My brother said yes. However, I didn't expect what he was going to say to me.